Alrighty. YouTube pleasantries. Hello, I am Tidbit, she, her. I do voices, I play games, and currently we are doing the Apollo Justice Trilogy. We are on game number 6 on the bonus case. There's chat. Shmorka got first, and they have a rather concerning message about if they didn't get it. But hey, they got it, so we won't need to learn what those are. No, your chat. I don't know how to retort that, so let's just get on with it. Oh. You probably want to see the game. Time Traveler Turnabout. Speaking of time traveling, it's ridiculous. I feel like I have fallen back into like 2017, 2019, around 2018. I'm looking for stuff in my Steam library to make as content for YouTube. Long ago it was to record, nowadays it's to stream. I'm doing submissions for voice acting again, and I'm also freaking out about the QB quiz, which it has an unfinished slot in less than a week. Sometimes I hate myself for putting in the hints. It'd be so much easier to be like, character boom, character boom, character boom, character boom. But then I gotta write words about them, and it's gotta make sense. Ugh. You have submissions. Yes, but I have a deadline I gotta go gobble at. Gotta go kill. Because anytime I'm not working on the hint is time being burned. And I've been burning a lot of time playing Minecraft. Oh, yeah. Right. For this case, because it's just a classic one, we're doing a younger Phoenix. Hey, there he is. Hey, Larry! Hey there, friend! Fancy meeting you here. There's nothing fancy about it. All we did was follow you. So, tell me, Larry, why did you run away like that? Huh? Me? I don't know what you're talking about. A bolt of inspiration for my new picture book hit me, but I had to run. Is all. Yeah. It was like Epiphany. You dig? It's Epiphany, but Epiphany. Epiphany. You dig? Right. Speaking of, I think some of the gang is playing Minecraft. Probably. He's just going to keep on playing dumb, isn't he, Nick? What did you see? Come on, Larry. I know you were on that airship. So, what did you see? I didn't see anything! I didn't see anything because I was never on that stupid airship! Larry. Psyche locks. You say something? The spiritual power of this Magatama allows me to see these mystical locks that appear when someone is trying to hide something from me. Nick, why are you muttering to yourself like no one's ever seen this? This is the 6th game in a series. Yeah, but the DLC cases are supposedly can be played standalone. That's ridiculous. Apollo is gone. How are they gonna? We didn't explain that. He's just gone. Meh. They're called Psyche locks. And when I see them, yada yada, I simply press the button to try my hand at breaking them. If I can unlock them, I'm sure to finally get a straight answer out of him. Who said I was straight? I have a wife! What? what Larry is hiding. This is no time for games, Larry. I will find out what you're hiding. I'm telling you, Nick, you've got it all wrong. I've got nothing to do with this case whatsoever. Oh, come on, Larry. Even a baby could see through such a blatant and obvious lie. Nothing whatsoever, huh? If you weren't involved, Larry, then you wouldn't have been involved with this person, the literal start of the case. You're the one who brought Ellen to my office in the first place. And all those cops. Did I? Nothing to do with the case whatsoever. Is not going to cut it this time, Larry. If you have to lie, at least do a better job of it. Don't diss me, Nick! If you're so convinced I'm lying, then let me ask you this. What makes you think that I was on this stupid old airship anyway? Let me see some proof, if you got any! Doubling down, are you? Fine. If you have to lie, at least do it in court. Perjury doesn't exist. You want proof, Larry? Here's proof that you were on that airship.
Take that!
Uh-oh. This is your business card wallet, isn't it, Larry? I thought you were gonna be like cool young Nick for this entire case. I'm angry at you, Larry. I found it in the reception hall. Time to come clean, Larry Butts. What exactly are you hiding? Please, no! Alright, fine! You got me! I'll tell you everything! It's angry at you, Larry Nick. Larry, what were you doing on that airship anyway? Well, I went there to deliver the welcome to our wedding sign they ordered from me. Huh? I didn't know you took on real jobs like that, too. Well, for your information, my wedding welcome signs are very popular on the net. And that's how you met Ellen? Uh-huh. I mean, I'd seen her in the photos for the welcome sign, but seeing her in person, the way she smiled at me and said, "Thank you," oh, she just swooned for me. Larry, she was being courteous. What does that mean? That she's got like the mega hots for me? That you gotta break it in court or something? Courteous? You got wax in those ears or something? Why is he turning into Gambit? Because that's what I imagine Larry would do for like a Maurice Donem kind of voice. I feel like I'd been hit by lightning. And that's when you fell in love with somebody else's bride, huh? So, were you invited to the reception? Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall! Smart move on their part, I'd say. Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself. I got upset and started wandering around the airship. That must have been when I dropped my business card wallet. So, somebody else must have found it. And brought it to the reception hall then. But you know what? This is kind of a good look for Larry. Even if the mustache is fake. The glasses honestly do help Larry. I saw something incredible while I was on that flying chapel. Like? Get a load of this! Hey, remember when I said the map being broken up looked like a pterodactyl? What the heck is this? Oh yeah, because Larry can sketch stuff. What do you mean? What is this? Isn't it obvious? It's a drawing! I sketched a picture of one of the cabins on the airship. So, what's so incredible about a cabin? Look at what was outside the window! One of those flying dinosaurs! A real live pterodactyl! I'm surprised you even know that word. I'm a children's illustrator. I gotta know what dinosaurs are. I looked out the cabin window, and there it was! Just flying out there! That airship traveled through time, I tell you! I wonder. Frickin' called it. Such a specific break. What? When I told that Peter's butler guy about it, he told me to never mention it to anybody ever again. You know, pretty simple stuff. But why would he try and keep you from spouting what is clearly just nonsense? The map is literally right behind you. Maybe Sprocket Aviation is secretly developing a time machine. No. No way. No. Nick, this case is totally amazing! Larry! You didn't tell Mr. Edgeworth about this, did you? Of course not. Edgy would just roll his eyes and think I was off my rocker. I didn't even tell him I was wandering around on the airship. I told him I met Ellie at the mooring dock and we ran away together. Yeah, I can see Edgeworth's eyes rolling right out of his head had he heard anything about this. So, Larry also experienced the time slip somehow. But how is that possible? Hey, Nick. I'll be taking my card wallet back now if you don't mind. Larry, is there any consistency to that accent? Hell no. It's the joke that it's wrong in every direction. It's not consistent at all. Oh yeah, this is for you. What the heck is this? Oh. Would you look at that? A bull and a cow. So many maids. It's a picture of the hold. I took it when I was wandering around on the ship. See? There's Ellie right in the middle. I don't know why, but Larry saying there's Ellie right in the middle makes me immediately suspicious of just like, is there two Ellies? And they just had a double wedding? That would be ridiculous. There were two weddings. Conker? You talk nice about women. Look at Perry. Conker is saving. Conker literally said, "Ew, women." And Doll. Oh, Doll said self-cessed. I hate cessed in almost any sense. Yeah. Conquer better here. That's just because it's the lesser of two evils does not make it not evil. Is it? Clone love. It's weird. And I have especially not liking history of Cest, because twin, I was commonly referred to as a clone, and I sure as heck. No. Gee, you know how I feel about Trigun ships. Yep, and I don't know jack about them. So, back to the case at hand, ignoring all this Cest talk. The hold? Yeah, see, it's, right here. Larry, that's the hall. Oh, it's upside down. Here. Okay. Right on the diagram. Okay. So, now I know where the hold is, but what was Ellen doing there? Well, they were using it as a prepping area for the reception. I see. And around when did you take this? Before the reception. I took it while Ellie was getting everything ready. So this was taken before the incident occurred. You know, the double wedding theory is starting to put pieces in my head, because there's the factor of she was going to clean up the wedding, but then they didn't, and she was supposed to do it. But then the butler came in. So, if there's two Ellies... You ever watch Garfield 2? A Tale of Two Kitties? It's totally plausible. So, this was taken before the incident occurred. I don't know if it'll be of any help, but thanks for this. I don't like his wrist. It's not that his wrist is breaking, it's just that the cell shading outline is coming into focus over a spot, so it looks a bit wonky. Barbie Princess and the Rockstar! I don't know that one. I can see the pig! Marshy helped open my eyes! What pig? Oh, the Q pig on the shirt. Yeah, it's like a little Peppa Pig. By the way, Larry, I heard that the door to the hold is controlled by a security system. How do you get in there? That's a trade secret! Can't tell you! Nope, no siree! And he just keeps on coming. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Well, I guess that's basically a wrap on the investigation. Not quite, Nick. I want you to meet Ellen, too. I want to meet Ellen, too. Oh, that's right. You haven't met her yet, have you? Okay, let's tow it over to the detention center. Then you can say hi. Lori, stay apart. Did you fuck up Larry and Put? Maybe. Dang. You have a better consistency rate than I. We're not going to investigate that any further. No! Why? Oh, I think I know who this one is. Please understand that this is in Master Soren's best interest. Sounds like Ellen's busy talking with someone. The next president cannot be married to a criminal. It would disgrace Sprocket Aviation. Miss Ellen, I need you to forget about this marriage. Pardon us. If it isn't Mr. Wright. So, their marriage is definitively off. There is no other choice. We cannot have a criminal in the family. For the sake of Master Soren and the Sprocket family, this is what is best. No! In that case, what if Nick here proved Ellen's innocence? Then you wouldn't have a criminal in the family, right? I suppose you are right, but I'm afraid that will be impossible. Because I'm still in the family. I did some shit. Would. Of course you would. Washi, I just need to pump some estrogen into the person and then it will be a perfect design. That's not true. Not for Nick. He may look like a nobody, but he can do some pretty amazing things. You just watch. I didn't take cases on. I don't take cases on lightly, so rest assured, I will prove her innocent. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I understand your name is quite well known in the judicial world, for the better or for worse. Pierce, I want you to promise me this. If I can prove Ellen's innocence, then you won't stand in the way of Soren and Ellen's marriage. Very well. But not even the most talented lawyer in the world can change reality itself. And the reality is, Miss Ellen is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. I believe that's... Sorry, I nearly stole your line, if you would. I believe that's where you're wrong, Pierce. I clean, I swear I am! Obviously, compulsive, clean! Obsessively, compulsively clean! Just as clean as pure as this white dress! Fine. You have my word. But you will be the one to regret this promise. You know, it'd be fucking awesome. It'd be so cool. If it's not just simply, it's like, oh, she died. It's, she was disgraced, and so the only way to get the drama off of her was that she had to, like, go into hiding. But because they care about Soren too much, because they're an older sibling, they're like, yeah, I'll dress up as a man and look like a butler. Woman dead? Character building. No! Fine. You will have my word. But you will be the one to regret this promise. I will stand in the way. I want Ellen. Now, if you will excuse me. Now I have all the more reason to win this case. Ellen, we finished our investigation, and we'd like to talk with you about what we found. Okay, so what did you find out? I gotta show Tid that sexist mode activate video. What? Gonna do a character art of despawning women conquer. In the course of our investigation, we heard that you had been seen standing in front of the victim with the murder weapon in your hands. It wasn't what it looked like. It's true, I was holding the murder weapon. But when I found him, he was already dead. I panicked, and I was hoping I could go back in time again, like I had done earlier. So I picked up the timekeeper from the pedestal and brought it over without thinking. You were so desperate, you were ready to try anything. Unfortunately, that sort of behavior makes you an easy target for the prosecution. No! And as for your little trip through time, none of your in-laws could confirm your story, I'm afraid. I see. The only exception is Larry. He said he saw something. Really? What did he see? He wasn't even allowed there! Can't say I quite believe it myself, but Larry claims he saw something incredible. He claims he saw a pterodactyl flying outside the airship. What? Oh? Is that noise supposed to go with something? Not only that, but apparently Pierce... No... I almost read it as nobody. Pierce nobody. It's just, oh, it's a butler, it's nobody. It's not the person you're thinking of. She dropped her pant, but we didn't see it, so where did it end up? It couldn't have ended up behind us. Apparently, Pierce Nico... How do you say that last name? Nicody. Pierce Nicody. Nicody. Pierce Nicody. Persnickety. Mother. Ah! Told Larry to keep quiet about it. But why would Pierce do such a thing? Larry's theory is that Sprocket Aviation is developing something in secret. A time machine, to be exact. Do you think that's why nobody would confirm my story? Because it's a secret? I really don't know. But, speaking of your in-laws, we did manage to find your key card at the Sprocket Manor. One of your in-laws said he'd keep an eye on it for you. Oh, thank goodness! I lost it when I was getting things ready for the reception. I looked everywhere for it. So, if you didn't have the card, then how'd you end up here? Huh. I'm so glad you found it! At least they're tears of joy this time, for a change. Well, Nick, It looks like you'll have to prove the existence of time travel in court tomorrow. That's right, I swear that while Mr. Gloomsbury was being killed, I was busy traveling back through time.
Great. With Stoogie Skeptic Edgeworth at the helm of the prosecution tomorrow, we're really gonna have to work. We're gonna really have our work cut out for us.
Conqueror likes when women cry, confirmed. That's not a weird thing to like. Don't look at me. Oh, wow, we were so close to the end last time. Just a simple talk to Larry. Continue to the next chapter.
Yeah, who are you?
I do not know.
It was 30 minutes, Tid.
Well, because there was a lot of talk about Cest and reading the chat. Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Ellen. I see you're still wearing your wedding gown.
And I will continue to wear it until our marriage is saved. Oh, Soren!
Ah, here's Biscuit.
Do you think he came to see how she's holding up? Soren, my love, you came all the way to the courthouse just to see me? Soren, I don't know what to say.
Blueprints.
Huh?
The engine blueprints. I can't find them. Do you know where they are?
They're in your room. The shelf at the bottom on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I see. He's leaving already? Don't tell me he was just here for that.
Don't tell me he just came to ask about some stupid blueprints. Is he really that cold of a person? Or is that just how it comes off? I wonder. What about me, Soren?
What? Ellen? He's back. You gonna say something? Come home soon. I'm lost without you.
Look at that Biscuit pose. Sorry!
Later.
Later. It's so difficult to do a Biscuit. It looks like showing your vulnerabilities is the fastest way to capturing a woman's heart. What a wonder. You should take notes on this, Nick.
Please, leave me out of this. I'm not after a woman. Anyway, it looks like Soren isn't big on words. But it's clear that he cares about Ellen. Knowing that, I actually feel kind of relieved.
Mr. Wright, I just absolutely can't be found guilty. You hear?
Don't worry. I'm going to do everything I can to prove your innocence.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
The trial is about to start, sir. You're the bailiff this time?
Yerp. No one else is gonna sound like this, probably.
Edgeworth.
You still thinking about Edgeworth because I said the quickest way to a woman's heart?
No. Knowing him, he's not going to yield an inch. So, I've just got to fight with everything I've got and save Ellen. Ow! The edge! Bailiff! Whack his pee-pee!
Curie, you are one sick person. Next character, you have to give that voice to them for the rest of whatever stream it is. Well, it was the bailiff. The bailiff now permanently has that voice for the rest of the stream.
Court is now in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt. Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Classic Judge. Gosh, I have not. I have not done this in a good minute. Edge the Warthog. Wait, Edge the Warthog. Warthog. What?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Seeing so many familiar faces gathered together like this, I feel as though I'm at a grand reunion. It makes me want to go out for dinner and drink reminisce with all of you.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I was dying for a real burger the whole time I was away. My gosh.
We could make it a welcome back party for Maya. How about it, Edgeworth?
I have no intention of cavorting with my enemies.
Well, it's a good thing we're friends.
Now then, Your Honor, let us start this trial at once.
Still not one for light-hearted banter, are you, Mr. Edgeworth?
Jokes and good humor are beyond worthless in a court of law. Guess we'll just have to have the party without him, then. Well, you can't. It'll be at my house. However, were it after the conclusion of this trial, I might consider joining you for your little welcome back party. I certainly wouldn't mind an invite, at the very least. Look at Maya's face! He's still as emotionally constipated as ever. I see.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please go over the details of this case for us.
The victim was Dumas Gloomsbury, a servant in the Sprocket household. He was in attendance at the wedding reception that occurred from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mr. Gloomsbury apparently felt some animosity towards Ellen Wyatt, and so, a bit after the reception ended at 10 p.m., he assaulted Ms. Wyatt with the intention to kill her.
Isn't it Miss, since it's after the wedding?
Ah, yes, but we're calling her Ms. because they didn't have a license for weddings.
Oh, damn.
The defendant fought back and ended up killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
In other words, it was justified self-defense, correct? If that's the case, then the defendant might not be criminally responsible.
He's right. Worst case scenario, I could go for self-defense to avoid the criminal charge. And everyone's talking about Top Chat, which is making me realize... Okay, the little bubble chat is live chat. He's right. Worst case scenario, I could go for self-defense to avoid the criminal charge. I wonder how Edgeworth plans to counter that, though.
The prosecution's first witness will make my view on the matter clear, Your Honor.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring in the first witness.
Alrighty. Oh? Who is this? Oh, it's Emma. Please state your name and occupation, witness. Emma Sky, forensic investigator. And I'd just like to say, sir, that being in the same courtroom as you is a great honor.
Oh, I guess this is the exact amount of people from the last case of the first game, is it not? That fucking blue badger. He better not show up. Oh, that's right. You're a fan of Edgeworth's, aren't you, Emma?
We're good friends and all, Mr. Wright. But just this once, I intend to faithfully and fully testify for the prosecution. And I do mean that wholeheartedly.
I expect no less from you.
Yes, sir! I'm gonna do my very best. Looks like you lost the popularity contest to Mr. Edgeworth, Nick.
I could care less. I really could care less. Besides, didn't you mean couldn't? No, I know what I said. I mean what I say, and I said what I meant. Besides, she'll see who's the better lawyer once I win this trial.
Yeah, maybe then you'll actually really care less.
Now, Detective Sky, if you please.
I can't wait for Ace Attorney 7, where we have Juniper as a judge. And it's that far time skip that Edgeworth and Nick are like an old couple. I sent you some concepts on that today. Woo! Fun. But I want a woman judge. I might just play Of the Devil to get my fix on stream. Who knows? The murder weapon was a clock called the Timekeeper. The victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over right into the lantern. The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body holding the murder weapon. The victim was struck twice, by the way. Looking over at Maya. Tibbet, if you do Chronicles, could you get some buds in on it? Mayhaps a little bit pretty, please? I don't have Ace Attorney Chronicles, but I'll think about it.
He was struck twice?
That's right. There's no mistake about it. The first blow was to the back of the victim's head. It was hard enough to knock him unconscious. Yet, despite the fact he had been immobilized by the first blow, the defendant delivered a second fatal blow to the side of the victim's head.
Which means what exactly?
Right. I figured it would go right over your head. let's put it this way. By striking the victim a second time, the defendant killed her last chance to escape from any criminal wrongdoing.
She did? But how, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defendant may have been fighting back because she was being attacked. However, she then went on to deliver a fatal blow to a man who was already fully unconscious. Nick, is what he's saying what I think he is?
I don't feel so well.
And thus, Mr. Wright, justified self-defense. And thus, Mr. Wright, has justified self-defense been removed from the table. The prosecution intends to prove that the defendant killed the victim, and with murderous intent. Allow me to belatedly submit the victim's autopsy report.
So that's why he was acting all smug. Well, more smug than usual.
It's fine, right?
Maya, why are you angry?
Maya Angie. It's not like we're going to plead self-defense anyway, right?
Right, but now the judge has a negative impression of Ellen.
That's way past cool.
Wait, who gave the judge the chat again?
He may not get to prosecute much anymore, but he definitely hasn't lost his touch.
You got the touch, bam, bam, bam. You got the power. Yeah!
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
The murder weapon was a clock. Yeah. I've only got 2 of the Ace Attorney games on Steam. And it is this one and the original trilogy. So, maybe in the future we could do like a Friday stream where it's more than just me voicing stuff. Everyone knows the first trilogy, so it's not like we're trying to keep secrets. Why is the chat just filled with past cool? Why? Tid, will you play a non-speaking Sonic game so you can voice all the Sonic characters? Ibby? Ibby, if you're talking about the murder of Sonic, that is also on my list. Our plan succeeded! Who killed Sonic's hedgehog? Ow, the edge.
It was an edge.
No, I'm not talking about that, but that would be so cool. I mean, it was free, and so I have it on Steam.
Hold it!
Let's talk about Sonic Chronicles.
Are you completely sure the murder weapon was the Timekeeper?
Yes, completely. The shape of the injury on the victim's head matches up with that of the Timekeeper. And it's definitely heavy enough to kill someone with.
But would the defendant have been able to pick up and swing something so heavy?
I tried it myself, and I was able to lift it up just fine.
You eat snackadoos every day.
Ow!
You don't talk about my fucking snackadoos. Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah. Maybe you're just freakishly strong then.
Excuse me, Mr. Wright. I'll have you know that people on the force know me as the dainty forensic investigator. Me after leaving my retail job where I was throwing around the boxes off the truck. They were heavy boxes. Some of them got up to like 50 pounds. And they were bigger than my torso. They were heavy. And the cardboard a lot of times did not hold up. I'm glad that I'm back to being small. Well, smaller. I can't do stuff like that anymore. My back will scream.
Sorry, but really, you're hardly a delicate flower.
Being a strong woman is cool, though. Shut up, Emma, you loser. Emma specifically doesn't seem particularly healthy.
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. Save your antics for after the trial, if you know how. Yes, sir. It won't happen again, sir.
Moving on. Where's that Schmorby video? Find popsicle mascots in your... Moving on!
Hold it!
The defendant was fighting back against the victim, right? If so, wouldn't she have hit him from the front and not from behind?
The victim must have tried to run once Ms. Wyatt started fighting back. That's probably when he got hit from behind.
I see, thus the blow to the back of his head.
The defendant must have looked awfully scary when she was brandishing that clock. She's taken supplements from Arnie. Inside joke. I would not trust, and I still don't trust anything handed out by that Minotaur. It's terrifying.
I don't know about that. Regardless of how scary Ellen looked, the victim was definitely hit from behind.
May I go on?
Yes, of course. Please do.
Hold it!
But that's only because she was so panicked when she found the body. That's why she tried to use the timekeeper to go back in time.
Objection!
What was that?
Objection! Mr. Wright, do you have any idea how absurd you sound? Objection. That is how you do it. But Ms. Wyatt really believes she could travel through time with that clock. You really should have come up with a more credible story, you know.
Yes, I agree. It's quite ridiculous.
Me three, but it's all I've got to go on. Pour one out for my sanity.
Your calcium looks a bit low.
Take the pill, eat the pill, chew the food, eat the pill.
No! Not the calcium pill! No! I drink my milk. Anyway, under the circumstances, the only conclusion we can draw is that the defendant killed the victim. Drink your black water, Tidbit. You know, it's funny you say that, but I used to actually do that because I'd put so many, like, drink enhancers, those little squirt stuff, into my water that it looked like Squid Ink. It was so dark, and honestly, it was super good because it was just like, it was a shot of all these, because it was like a graveyard of different
Hold it!
of different squirt bottles, because it was just so many flavors that taking one sip legitimately would like shock me awake, because it's just like there's everything here. But it's also maybe because I didn't realize some of those drink enhancers have caffeine in them. So, what?
Ms. Wyatt must have had a chance to escape after she struck the victim the first time. So why would she stick around and hit him with such a heavy object again?
Well, about that.
Allow me to explain. Why did she strike him again? Indeed. To finish off the victim, of course. This very act cleanly shows that she had every intention of killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
But Ms. Wyatt would never do a thing like that. Tell him, Nick.
Then let's see some evidence that disproves my theory.
Are you gonna just stand there and take that from him, Nick?
I can't refute his claim head on, so I'll have to approach it from a different angle. Well, it looks like we won't be going anywhere until we can refute Edgeworth's claim.
This is so exciting. We haven't taken on Mr. Edgeworth in ages.
Yeah.
Why are you saying it like that?
Uh,
Did you people get captured by a maniacal, maniac, robot-loving woman who was grieving her wife and were forced to do a court reenactment?
maybe.
Happens every time I leave.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, Nick. Now, go get him!
No need to rush me, Maya. Alright, I better start comparing Emma's testimony with the evidence we have and look for any glaring inconsistencies.
Where was the timekeeper?
Objection!
Detective Sky, I'm afraid I have to apologize in advance.
For what?
For embarrassing you in front of your idol.
What do you mean?
If you take a look at this photo of the crime scene, you'll see that the victim is lying on his back. But if the victim had been hit from behind, as you claim, then he should have fallen over into the lantern face down.
Oh!
It's not enough to simply take someone's side, Detective Sky, even if it's Mr. Edgeworth's.
There does appear to be a flaw in Detective Sky's testimony.
Mr. Wright! If you think I'm gonna just back right down, then you're sadly mistaken.
Emma is unusually fired up today. I wonder if her idol is in the room. Sip a sip.
He's just having a silly little nap. When he wakes up, would. Marshy, did you see the opening animation for this case? He's not as pathetic as he looks here. Vaguely.
He was voiced by Matthew Mercer.
I sure didn't. I don't think he's pathetic. And what do you think of him? Nah, Ted. He is so pathetic. Matthew Mercer doesn't give you epic rights. Motherfucker is not 25! Matthew Mercer? I shan't say. Don't forget, she's in front of her hero, Nick. If the Steel Samurai came to watch this trial, I'd want to do my absolute best too.
Is that the Steel Samurai I heard? What the fuck? Is he coming?
Listen, Mr. Wright. It's entirely possible that the defendant moved the victim's body after he fell over. In that case, there wouldn't be any contradictions, right?
Indeed. That was an excellent counter-argument, detective.
You can count on me, sir! Ibby's telling Tidbit my VC joke without the context of how we got there. The wedding gritty. Stolen valor. Stolen valor, Ibby. You must do a fan art for the stream now as penance. Make you and Biscuit as the two characters. Treat yourself. So, what do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
Is it possible that the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern?
Well, he didn't fall into the lantern. She said she fell into the lantern and found the body. So she was trying to wheel it away. He was all up in there.
Is it possible that the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern?
The defense believes it's possible that the victim's body was moved by the defendant. What are you doing, Nick? You're backing up Emma's claim?
Sorry, I didn't fully understand what we were trying to ask. Oops, I meant to answer in the negative.
In other words, you wish to claim the exact opposite of what you just said. A reversal that dramatic deserves an equally dramatic punishment. Exploding of a badge.
I didn't fully understand the question. Is it possible that the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern? I don't know what you meant by two characters, so I assume Phoenix and Edward. No. I mean, Ellen and Soren. You know, the two. Oh, funny. How'd she get in here? Wow, Wow, how is Edgeworth and Phoenix the oldest people here?
Sorry, Detective, but there's no way the victim's body was moved after his death.
Oh, really? And what makes you so sure?
One look at this here and it should become obvious.
Is it these parts that are on the body? I think so?
Take that!
Those broken bits of the lantern?
Yes, if the body had been moved after the fact, these fragments would have fallen off of it. But as you can clearly see, they're lying perfectly undisturbed on top of the body. That means the victim must have been lying face up from before the lantern even broke.
You're right! But, wait a minute. If that's true, then when was the victim killed? I mean, the lantern was still whole during the reception, right?
Right. Which means we've just overturned a major assumption about the case. If the victim was already dead before the lantern was even broken, then the body must have been inside the lantern since before the reception started. In other words, the defense asserts that the victim was killed before the wedding reception.
What?
We don't see Emma's feet often, and I feel like this happened every time. They show Emma's feet, and it's like, ooh, who is that? And it scrolls up to it, it's like, oh, it's Emma. I never, ever remember that's her shoes.
In short, when Ms. Wyatt was seen standing in front of the body after the reception, it wasn't the moment just after the murder was committed. It was the moment she happened to discover the body, just as Ms. Wyatt claims.
Oh! Objection. Whether the act was committed before or after the reception is entirely inconsequential. After all, it was the defendant who prepared the reception hall for the event in question. Therefore, when the murder occurred, changes nothing with regard to her guilt. She could have killed the victim before the reception, as you claim, and then tried to hide the body in the lantern after the event ended.
Objection!
Sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, where would the body have been hidden during the reception in your scenario?
That's...
Even you have to admit, Mr. Edgeworth, that this has opened up a new possibility.
Do explain, Mr. Wright.
Well, if Ms. Wyatt didn't commit the crime in the reception hall, then that means someone, somewhere, put the victim's body into the lantern.
I suppose that makes sense. A dead body couldn't have put itself in there. Or could it have? I said it, I'm the judge.
Can you pause the stream, Tid? I gotta go put something away.
Another one of your men's bodies.
Looks like you're losing your edge!
I want her butt and nothing but her butt on my face. Objectifying! Looks like you're the edge now. Objection! He made fun of me.
Is this how we're pausing stream? We're just referencing the Speederoo video. It's a very interesting choice to have Hellbent as the judge. Speederoo? Yay, they're the person who made that video. They do animations. Speederoo. They're a frog. Is Peteroo. I live under a rock. A rock that has like 10 jobs under it. A bead. They also animate the Big Naughty on Newgrounds and other places, like, well, Twitter's dead. Maybe Blue Sky? I haven't looked for them in other places, but I do know that they are very good at that. I Vash the Stampede myself.
A joke from one of my dreams.
The drone, Nicholas, he's so good. You advertising not safe for work, Perry? And that's perfectly fine. This channel is 18 plus. On Tid's stream? And also not advertising. But we're adults here. We don't need any frickin' kids around. Heckin' kids. I'd be silly. Yeah. I really wish I could stream some games that, you know, are a little more on the risque side, like Shantae. But no, YouTube's like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that because there's 6-year-olds on this platform. What about YouTube Kids? Oh, they're also on that platform too, because they're just one platform. Oh yes, the big old mighty Google. You can't separate stuff. YouTube is like, oh no, women. Shantae? Weird. My mind went horny pub. I don't have any of those games. And besides, we all know that the boys were able to do that playthrough because they're white men. Joke, joke, joke. They did it because they got balls to do it. Atlas would be an interesting game to stream. Well, they had to censor. Live wouldn't work. Oh. I haven't seen it in a long time. I guess I forgot the censors. Oh, I thought you said they could do it because they're white. That was the joke. Alright. Marshy has spent enough time. They can use the ×2 to come back to the modern.
Exactly, Your Honor. No, wait, there was more than after Your Honor.
How did I not see that?
In other words, if the murder actually occurred before the reception, it opens up the possibility...
They put up dogs drinking Pepsi. Stream Bayonetta. No angel mode. Holding yep on sturdy. I wish I could. But first off, I don't have Bayonetta.
It opens up the possibility that he was killed somewhere else, the defendant didn't do it, he was killed in some other way. What we're fighting for. The defendant couldn't commit this murder.
Objection.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Even if the murder was committed before the reception, that alone doesn't erase the suspicion against the defendant.
It seems that was too ridiculous of a leap backwards for Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Wright. I suggest you look before you leap and think before you speak.
Alright, I'll time travel.
You motherfucker! Ah!
If the body was hidden inside the lantern, then it's possible that the body was moved along with it somewhere else.
Oh, you're right.
You can run that mouth of yours all you want. Mouth. But do you have any evidence to support what's coming out of it, Mr. Wright? Of course I do. I think the answer lies in that piece of evidence. And it's something that was left at the crime scene that will point us to where the victim was really killed. Mouth.
Very well, Mr. Wright, in that case. What proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else?
Wait, this might... No, it's not a double fake out.
It's a simple case.
Take that!
This proves that the murder took place somewhere other than the reception hall.
I'm afraid I can't say that I follow. The health bar is still up.
That piece of evidence won't help you make your point, Nick.
Yet another pointless piece of evidence from a senseless attorney. Jeez!
The judge is going so hard into Nick.
Simple case. Has to time travel twice.
Shush, Conker. Is it this picture of the bowl?
Take that!
This proves that the murder took place somewhere other than the reception hall.
I'm afraid I can't say that I follow. Right, get back here!
Is it this one?
Take that!
Phoenix just casually time traveling right in front of us. Tidbit, the referenced the same picture, Tidbit. Okay, I did that one. I've done that one. Is it this one? Check the logs!
Take that!
Seriously? The same photo? I love Killer Queen Bites the Dust. Of course you'd love a woman dying, Conker. Killing queens and making them bite dust? Evil. Where is Evelyn when you need her? It's true. There you have it, folks. Conker exposed. Kill them. Even Emma's like, the photo of the victim again?
Yes. I'd like the court to focus on this thing right here.
Is it the petal?
Take that!
Flower petals, Mr. Wright?
These petals are from a kind of flower that were not present in the reception hall. This means they must have gotten into the lantern when it was somewhere else.
And just where do you propose this somewhere else to be, Mr. Wright?
I propose that this piece of evidence will tell us where the flower petals really came from.
Nope, not in those.
Take that!
Please take a look at the flowers in this picture of the hold. Notice how their petals are of the same shape as the petals in the crime scene photo.
Yes, I see. They do look to be from the same kind of flower.
Objection!
Objection. Ha. Is that really all you've got? A flower is a flower is a flower. They're all the same. I would hardly call what you presented compelling evidence.
I'm afraid I couldn't disagree with you more, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave a flower of this type to my lovely wife once when we were young. So I can assure you that this is a very meaningful and compelling evidence indeed. The soundness of my judgment in this matter is backed by nothing less than pure love.
He has a wife. He has a grandkid that he visited in the hospital with a mysterious ailment when we were doing case number 3 in the Ace Attorney 4.
When Claver Gavin went on stage and his buddy was transferring fucking illegals across places. Silkworm bags or something.
So, I'm hearing I've got competition. Well, she could be dead. That's the thing. We don't know if she's alive right now. But Your Honor.
Let it go, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear you don't know much about flowers. It's not like you have anyone you'd actually give any to, after all.
Oh, good Lord, Phoenix. Why are you pulling this up now?
But maybe you should study up on them, just in case the opportunity presents itself.
When is your birthday again, Phoenix?
It's in 2 days.
Oh, great. Maudie has traumatized me. Let it go. It has traumatized me to let it go. God. This is from the man who only knows the names of 3 types of flowers.
That's hardly relevant to the case at hand.
I stopped giving you flowers when you called all of them sunflowers. You ungrateful cretin.
I said that I liked the sunflowers you gave me.
They weren't sunflowers.
The defense asserts that it's highly probable that the victim was killed in the hold. If the body was then placed in the lantern and moved to the reception hall for some reason, it would completely destroy the prosecution's case.
Then you mean the body was...
Yes, the victim's body was inside the lantern during the entire beautiful wedding reception. I'm sorry, Wright. We can only have a courthouse wedding. You know how they deal with gays. While the defense and her betrothed were celebrating their love.
What? They're married? But you've been calling her Ms.
Objection!
Your smooth talk might work on his honor, but it won't work on me. What are you talking about now? Take another look at all of the evidence, and you will soon see what I mean. I wish you would just tell me already. Detective Sky, I'm sure you've already figured out what I am talking about, correct?
Of course, sir. Mr. Wright is the only one here who hasn't. Well, why don't you leave this to me, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well. Let's see what you can do.
Detective Sky, please give your testimony to this court.
The victim could not have been killed before the reception. The autopsy reports state that the estimated time of death was after the reception.
Yeah, because nobody can fudge one of those.
And that estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong.
I'm starting to feel like detective testimonies are a method to pad cases.
I see more as detective testimonies as like an extension of the prosecution of what they're trying to claim. Because it would be very weird to have like a cross-examination of the prosecution. So they just use detectives as a stand-in. It's clear Mr. Gloomsbury was killed after the reception. And that completely contradicts your claim.
I guess so.
Tell me you took at least a courtesy glance at the autopsy report, Mr. Wright.
Because it's useless, I updated it. It appears you've grown rusty since our last outing. Might I suggest you go back and brush up on the basics? Sure, though I must say, you're as cocky as ever, Mr. Edgeworth. I beg your pardon.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
I'm just saying that I'll go back to the basics if that's what Mr. Edgeworth wants. I'll prove how badly he's underestimating me with a good old-fashioned cross-examination.
Very well. Let's see you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Wright.
What's Chad been up to? I'm starting to feel like it. But I mean, there's a lot of cases with the prosecution points being refuted by a witness. I just feel like there's a reliance on detectives to do things that they haven't figured out how to flow into the witness as well. I mean, they have detectives for a reason. This is what they do. Press A to put thrusters on full power. Killed before inception.
Hold it!
You sound pretty certain. You must have some solid grounds for making that claim. Right?
Of course I do. And you're going to feel silly when I show you what they are. Gonna feel so silly. Ready? Feast your eyes on this. She just handed the autopsy report to me.
Hold it!
I've read the autopsy report too, you know.
Then you don't need me to explain it to you, right? There's no way the victim could have been killed before the reception, I mean.
Detective Sky, I think you've overlooked something big.
I have?
Why don't you take another look at the evidence?
But I've already looked at all the evidence, and quite carefully too, I'll have you know.
Detective Sky, do not be taken in by his verbal antics.
He's simply bluffing, as always. Right, sir.
Hold it!
Is it possible that the culprit did something to obscure the real time of death?
No, not in this case. There was no snow or anything to keep the body from decomposing. And there's no fridge on that airship big enough to fit a body into.
So, you've already checked into that, I see.
It all comes down to the estimated time of death, doesn't it?
I mean, is there a way to roast a body so it seems like it decomposed quicker? Because that's the issue. You think that it's already going to crap. Because you're saying it's so recent. The time is so far ahead. Wait, would freezing it?
Yeah, freezing it would make it seem like it's longer. It's been dead longer. We've had that before. Have we? Wait, am I getting it backwards? My brain's not doing too well. I really hope my girlfriend didn't bring a sickness back. She's currently resting in bed. Because she's got a big old headache. Don't know what could have caused it. And now I'm feeling lightheaded. But that's probably just from
Doing the judge.
It all comes down. Couldn't the killer mess with the victim's time of death by keeping the body on ice?
Yeah, if they had the means to. The prosecution is treating the estimated time of death as an absolute. But is it really?
I take it you don't think it is, huh, Nick? In that case, we're gonna have to find a way to convince them otherwise.
Yeah, there's gotta be a way somehow.
Oh. Which one will that work for? I wonder what this is.
Objection!
I admit that the estimated time of death does contradict my theory.
Finally! And that means your theory has that the victim was killed before the reception.
Is still entirely plausible.
What? Huh? What makes you think that?
The killer could have falsified the time of death by using a certain item in the reception hall. Please, take a look at this.
And what is that contraption, Mr. Wright?
Alright. Who the evidented my car? Who parked their sandwich under my car? I did. Larry, get the away from me now. It's a fog machine, Your Honor, used to create a special romantic atmosphere in the hall.
And this machine could have been used to falsify the time of death?
Yes, Your Honor, because this machine uses dry ice to perform its magic.
Oh, I know all about magic. It's very useful.
Trucy, not right now.
Dry ice. Oh, yes, the super cold stuff commonly used to make theatrical fog, right? I see. So your claim is that this dry ice was used to keep the body cold.
Oh. In that case, I guess the victim could have been killed before the reception.
Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this development?
That the victim was killed in the hold before the wedding reception. The prosecution acknowledges the possibility of this claim. Now we're getting somewhere. The prosecution would also like to thank you, Mr. Wright. For what? I didn't know how a certain piece of evidence fit into this case. But now, thanks to you, I do. What piece of evidence? To get into the hold, one needs a key card, like this one. I think that's your gay pass. No, this is my key card. This is a key card. And here we have a record of who entered the hold with such key cards. Pierce is right in the middle. I wonder. The times aren't specified, but these are the last 3 entries of the day of the murder. And as you can see, the last person to enter the hold that day was the defendant. What?
So the one who moved the body out of the hold must have been...
That's right. It was none other than the defendant. Hold entry record added to the court record.
Oh, wait. Speaking of stuff, I totally forgot to do this earlier when I was talking about that. It feels like we're in the past. But yesterday's QB quiz was Apollo Justice. So maybe take a crack at what today's could be. It's only a difficulty 2, number 829. If you're watching this from the future, is what I'm talking about. Hey, Nick, take a look at this entry record. There are a couple of names on here besides Ellen.
Hey, you're right. According to the entry record, Mr. Edgeworth, Pierce Nickody had also gone into the hold. Isn't it possible that they? What are they? Could have been the culprit? Objection. Sorry, but Mr. Nickety was escorting a few of the guests at the time. I'm sure they would be happy to testify to that fact if you'd like. Think me cocky all you'd like, Mr. Wright, but my confidence is rarely misplaced. Ugh. Now then, it's probably safe to assume that after killing the victim in the hold, the defendant moved his body into the hall in order to dispose of it discreetly. What do you mean by discreetly? The defendant volunteered to take care of the reception's cleanup personally, and yet Pierce Nickety still showed up. That means she would have had the chance to dispose of anything in any way she wanted, including taking the lantern off the airship without raising any suspicion. Don't tell me you don't know how Ms. Wyatt You don't know about Ms. Wyatt volunteering for cleanup duty, Mr. Wright.
For my last task as a servant of the Sprocket household, I offered to take on the preparation and cleanup of the reception banquets.
I see. Yeah, we saw that. Ugh. Look at you, sweating buckets like a rookie, even after all these years, nevertheless. Thank you for providing that the only person could have killed the victim in the hold is Ellen Wyatt. Ugh.
I'm back. What happened?
Edgeworth and Wright are making out violently.
Hi, Evelyn! Knife! Hey-oh! What do you have there? A knife! No!
Great job, Phoenix. Now we're back to square one. Perhaps you should ask Ms. Sykes for some help in reviewing Defense for Dummies. Ooh.
Way to go, sir! You got Mr. Wright in a cold sweat.
Ha! I wonder if maybe the promise of seeing that miserable look on his face is what brought me back to court today. It certainly made all of my stress and woes as chief prosecutor just melt away. So you're saying all your stresses and woes melt away whenever you see me? Yes. Yes, I'll see you at home. You're making dinner if you lose. So what are you planning on making? Oh, you know, the usual. Burgers. We're having a party.
I guess he had a lot of stress built up.
I'll give him something to stress over before we're through today. Your Honor, the prosecution asks that you render your verdict at this time. Before that man over there tries to throw the court into chaos with his meaningless bluffs.
I see. Mr. Wright. Are there any last meaningful bluffs you'd like to present to this court?
Why does he have to assume it'll be a bluff?
Nick, hurry up and throw a good one out there.
I will. Well, all right then. Let's see. I've got it. How do you know it was Ms. Wyatt who used her keycard? After all, it turns out that somebody else used her card. Wait. After all, if it turns out that somebody else used her card, it would mean Ms. Wyatt didn't do it.
Interesting. And are you able to prove this bluff to be true?
I assure you, I'm not bluffing, Your Honor. Well, now what?
Wait a minute, Nick. I can think of a certain somebody who might have used Ellen's key card.
You can?
Remember? The one who was sneaking around the hold in spite of not being a family member?
Oh, that's right. Seriously, he has to be plot relevant?
Yeah. They brought his animations over.
Your Honor, the defense would like to call a certain witness to the stand.
Oh my god, is it Larry?
Yeah, it's a big reunion.
Gosh, dang it. Seriously, why can't we just not invite him?
He'll figure it out.
Ah, gosh. I was so looking forward to having a nice chat with you peeps.
I need the testimony of this person who may have entered the hold with Ms. Wyatt's card.
Larold. Larold.
Take that!
That's your witness? Are you saying that numbskull was on the airship? He never breathed a word about that to me.
That's not surprising because Mr. Nickety told him to keep quiet about it. But Mr. Butts himself admitted it to me.
Oh, no.
He claimed to have found a way to sneak into the Flying Chapel's hold to see Ms. Wyatt. This photo he took and gave to me is proof.
Then was it he moved the lantern with the bot? Then was it he who moved the lantern with the body inside the reception hall?
You know as well as I that with him, anything is possible. The wasted character design.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that they bring Larry back for this, like, oh, it's a time travel case, and not just in the plot-wise, in the fact that it's everyone! It's everyone again! Yay! But I still will not forgive the fact that he took up several different character designs that could have been interesting.
And this one possibility we should definitely look into.
I can't believe this. What in the world is he doing mixed up in this?
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what we've been saying since elementary school?
When something smells, it's usually the butts.
Exactly.
Ah, that Larry. He'll pay for this.
Well, if you want to extract your payment now, he's right up there in the gallery.
What? Oh, frick! Yikes! Bailiff! Seize the witness before he makes a run for it!
No! Why does this stuff always happen to me?
Now come here, Sonny. I got you.
Like, ah! Get off me!
I am the size of a raccoon. You can't get me off you. I got the claws of a raccoon, too. My brain was experimented and they put me in the body of a raccoon.
Maybe stop doing crimes, Larold.
Sorry, Larry, but you brought this on yourself.
Let us break for a 15-minute recess. I'll ask that both sides prepare for the next witness testimony during this time.
I'm just a raccoon now that I mention it. With the brain of a man.
Hey, you where Rocket became a court bailiff.
Enjoy some ammo! Why are you doing that in court, you crazy raccoon? I'm not a raccoon, buddy.
Wow. It's been a while since I've had this much fun and excitement, and it's all being ruined by Larry. A face-off against Mr. Edgeworth, a harrowing tightrope walk for the defense, and yet Larry's here! Why?
Yeah, I'm exhausted already just thinking about it.
Boss! I'm here for moral support.
Athena! Are you all done practicing for Trucy's magic show?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I sort of ran away.
Yeah.
You know, hearing of just like, oh, Trucy's magic assistant, I would love to see an alternative outfit instead of frickin' Très Bien. It's just like, why give Athena Très Bien? What if you gave her like her own little magician's outfit or something like that? And then when you have this, it's just like a bit funnier because it's like, oh yeah, her design does match Trucy's in this costume. But that's because she was putting my life in danger, I tell you!
I see. I think I'll need to have a one-on-one with her. You're really athletic and fit, Athena, so Trucy probably thinks she can run you ragged.
That may be true. Which is why not even Trucy can keep up with me when I ran at full speed. Looks like you spoke too soon, Athena. Never underestimate the resourcefulness of a great magician. Huh? Magical girl Trucy Wright is on the scene. No! Now, Athena, it's time to practice human combustion magic. Go on, douse yourself in this gasoline. But don't worry, it's a magic trick after all, so it's perfectly safe. Run away! Hey, you're not getting off that easily! They get along so well, don't they? It reminds me of the good old days. You, me, and Pearly. Oh, and Detective Gumshoe. Can't forget him. Please tell me Gummy shows up. Please tell me Gummy shows up. I want to see him. I want to see him in this art style. Please. Please.
I also want to see Francisca in this art style.
Please. We had all kinds of fun at the crime scenes back then. Remember?
I also do love this little tiny thing of just Athena showed up and then Trucy showed up and they ran off. They literally just showed up to change up the vibe. It does make me feel a bit hippie. Leaving me to do all the serious investigating, as I recall.
Court will soon be back in session, Mr. Wright.
Right. Thank you.
So, Larry's the next witness, right? I can't wait to see what happens.
Okay, but what about Meekins? Meekins showed up once. Goodness gracious, did Meekins show up? If I wanted to, I could have kept Meekins as the bailiff canonically, but I did not. Wasn't he in Investigations? Love that little guy. Yeah, but he was also the court, like, bailiff for when, Shady Smith was being, when his, what's his real name? Trucy's father, the magician, when he was in court and did the disappearing act. We had to talk to Meekins, who's like, I just saw a little girl run past here. I don't know what happened. Mr. Magic. Sadly, I can already imagine it.
I've loosened up to Meekins. Meekins is a pretty funny archetype. It was very mixed when I was first going into it of just like, I've never seen any of this before, but still having that baggage from other people's opinions of the first 3 games of just like, it sucks, it's a bad game. It's like, it's goofy. It's not super serious. I get it's about lawyers, but can you not have a jokey lawyer thing? Does it have to be exact? Can it not be goofy?
Court will now reconvene.
Nick! Edgy! The 2 of you are gonna hang me out to dry, aren't you?
No, not the both of us. Just Mr. Wright.
Nick! How could you?
I didn't really think he did it, of course. But gotta use whatever leads I can. Professor Milk and cigarettes? What about them? What? Conker, what are you going on about? Mr. Butts, there's a possibility you moved the lantern that had the dead body in it. So, if you want to clear yourself of any suspicion, all you have to do is testify.
Now then, your testimony, please, witness. Ugh.
Nick is a jerk face! Nick, you big fat stinking jerk! How can you doubt your best friend? We've known each other since elementary school! Well, get this, pal! Our friendship's over!
Do I have to press that?
Well, go ahead, Mr. Wright. He's all yours.
Why me? You're the one who called him to the stand, so he's your responsibility. Thanks, old chum.
Can any of you show me a little respect? Even a shred?
You heard him. Guilty. OG breaking his heart. Conker, you still need to explain yourself. What do you mean, Professor Milk and cigarettes? Explain. What the frick? Why is there an empty message? From the polar bear. Is it any? No, it's just empty. Oh yeah, because her father left.
You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Wright.
Right after the message, OG breaking his heart, it's just a blank. Right? Or is my phone acting up? No, it's even on stream. Mr. Magic Man. Curate? Conker! Why is everyone going invisible? No! They're all leaving me. I would if there were any testimony to cross-examine. Wait, seriously? No. What do you mean I have to deal with this? What? What do I do to this?
EB duct tape my mouth.
Good for her.
Hold it!
Come on, Larry. Can you please give me something real to work with? Don't think I don't know about your tricks! If I say something careless, you're gonna shove some evidence at me with a loud objection! And a super smug look on your face! Yeah, well, that is my job. Also, why did you say objection perfectly fine? Because I'm trying out for being a lawyer person. And if I get found guilty, how are you going to take responsibility for what you've done? Why should I take responsibility for just doing my job? You heartless jerk! Don't you have any compassion for me? Perry, don't make that joke. Oh, that was Conker. Sorry, Perry.
Bart, no!
Mom, I'm right here.
Oh, sorry. Force of habit.
Yeah, Ibby's the innocent, non-swearing little lady. Why would you say so many bad things about her?
Hold it!
I'm sorry, Mr. Butts, but if it wasn't Ms. Wyatt that entered the hold with that card, then you're the most likely suspect. Nick! Are you seriously doubting the innocence of your old childhood friend? Well, technically, yes. But it isn't personal, I assure you. Oh, a true friend would believe in me no matter what! Can you see my tears? Don't they mean anything to you? Nick! Nick! Ugh, why are you acting your heart out? Jeez. You don't really think you can cry your way out of this, do you? Okay, fine! In that case... Oh, get this, pal! Our friendship's over! Larry, listen to me. Shut up! I'm not talking to you anymore! This is getting us nowhere. Come off it, Larry. If you don't quit fooling around and start testifying, Ms. Wyatt will be found guilty. For real?
If no new information comes out of this cross-examination, then yes, Mr. Butts. For real. For shizzle even. For riggedy real.
Judge, don't say that. You can't be saying that.
Why not? They're words. Is there something wrong with saying words nowadays?
Of course the old person would talk like that.
It's wiggity whack, yo.
Okay. Not that I would have a problem with that myself. Larry, just tell us the truth already. Did you or didn't you go into the hold and move a lantern up to the reception hall? I never moved any bull lantern, I tell ya! It's funny that you knew it was a bull. Bull lantern. What? Did I say something weird? You told me that you didn't attend the wedding reception. This was technically in the same session, but it was before the to be continued, so technically
Hey, chat! What should Larry's flashback voice be? What do we do? What do we give to the pathetic? Do I just try and do a Larry impression from VeggieTales? Bob. Hello? Is anyone here? Oh no. Did everyone die? Had to.
Carrie's still dead.
What should Larry's flashback voice be? Should it be Larry from VeggieTales, or do you all have a better joke?
I was killed by an evil cosplayer. Help!
No, you deserved it. VeggieTales.
Read it in falsetto. Is that like falsetto Kaiba? What? Is it like a falsetto Kaiba?
I know it's a pitch range. I'm just making a joke. Because I don't immediately know the difference between like a tenor or a falsetto or what any of that means.
I was in the Twilight realm. Sorgi.
Okay, we have 1 vote for VeggieTales and no votes for anything else. Except falsetto.
Falsetto is the high-pitched one. No, I will not do that for Larry. That will be ridiculous.
Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend, Bob? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall.
And that has been Silly Reports with Larry. Part of the flashback where Larry comes out and says a silly thing. Yeah, so what? Then that's odd. No one in this court ever mentioned the sex of the lantern that was moved. How could you know that it was a bull lantern? You didn't actually have to go to the reception to know that. Anyone could tell there were 2 Pegabulls by looking at the Flying Chapel's pamphlet. All I can tell right now is that there's a strong scent of bull in the air right now. Please add that last statement to your testimony, Mr. Butts. Saving? Yem saved! Ah! Literally throw the pamphlet at his face.
Objection!
Yeah. I want you to take a look at this, Mr. Butts. Because unfortunately for you, the pamphlet clearly shows a Pega cow and a Pega bull in their example diagram of the reception hall. Yeah, but like, gay rights are a thing, aren't they? Huh? You know, it just dawned on me that I don't actually know how thick the walls are, and I don't know how well that traveled of gay rights are a thing. I wonder if anyone thinks that I'm doing like a manlet podcast in here. But on that day, instead of putting a Pega cow and a Pega bull out for the bride and groom, there were 2 male Pega bulls on display. Well, one of them could have transitioned. Fucking not ally. Yet somehow you knew there were 2 Pega bulls in the reception hall that day.
Gay rights mean nothing in a court of law.
Y'all want to hear the Manfred von Karma voice say that? Because that fits so well. OMG, they were roommates. Look at Wright and Edgeworth. There's only one way you'd know something like that, Larry. It was you who moved the Pegable to the reception hall, wasn't it? No, Larry, you didn't.
Mr. Butts, did you move the lantern containing the victim's body to the reception hall?
Gary, look in D! Look in D's nuts! Whoa! That's what it looks like.
What?
You know, if someone came in and saw me doing the voices for all these different characters, they'd assume that I was doing a really bad Maya voice. Because she barely talks, I can barely get fully into the voice before it's already done. Hold it! Wait, Nick! You don't think I'm the murderer, do ya?
Maybe you and Mr. Gloomsbury were fighting over Ms. Wyatt and you ended up killing him. What about that?
Maya! Not you too! No! 34, 28. 6-year difference. Look, I did sneak into the reception, but that's as far as it went! You know me, I wouldn't hurt a fly! Ah! Bug! Killed it. Yes, my bloodlust grows. You snuck into the reception. Yeah, sure. But some of the Sprocket men caught me and locked me up in one of the cabins. It was pretty awful, actually. But that's when I made that drawing of the pterodactyl I showed you, Nick.
Mr. Wright, this witness seems extremely unreliable with the current sentence that had been said. Ixnay on the aerodactyl te, Larry. Mr. Wright, not even you would take this farce that far. Would you?
You are talking about Larry. What do I do? Do I accuse Larry of being the true culprit?
Can I, please?
I guess I have no choice but to accuse him. Yeah, wait a minute. But Larry didn't have any reason to kill Gloomsbury. No, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Butts didn't have a reason to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. In this timeline, Edgeworth immediately thought of him just like, yeah, I guess Larry has to die. Oh, wait, no, there's evidence that he couldn't. Fuck. He might have had an imaginary reason to kill Soren Sprocket, sure, but not Mr. Gloomsbury.
Sometimes I wish Larry was the real culprit so that he'll never appear again. So true, bestie. Yeah, I want that to be... Oh, if I got to, like, direct number 7, I would definitely have the tutorial case mimic the very first case of where Larry's trying to say it's just like, no, this is like what happened all those years ago. A girl died. It must have been Mr. Sawit. I couldn't kill anyone, and then it's true. Larry killed someone because he got so fucking fed up of being single. That would be a great first case. Mimic the first one, but actually have it that Larry killed. That'd be great. Heck, you could even be like, they're nameless, and then it's revealed that this old crotchety man who was like the Mr. Sawit of it is actually Larry Butts. Just like, and the witness has remained unnamed. Well, I'm sorry to say, but this next piece of evidence will require the witness's name. Larry Butts.
Wait, Larry, why do you look so old?
You know, Nick, I got really old because I just wanted to stay young. I can't take it anymore. All these women pushing me aside for other younger men. I'm sick of it.
After all, he did steal Mr. Sprocket's bride and tried to elope with her.
Just because I tried to steal somebody's bride doesn't make me a murderer! Larry took a time machine and became Manfred von Karma. That's why he's so pissed. Larry adopted Miles, then. I believe you, Larry, and I don't think you killed anybody either. You know, probably how this case is going to end, with time travel being real, because magic's real. They're going to send Larry into the prehistoric past. Send him to a time where he can't do any damage. Or send him in the future. I think he would kill, like, semi-accident. Larry, I believe you. And I don't think you killed anybody either. I would never do anything like that. You would never do anything like that. Nick, oh buddy, oh pal! I knew you'd come through for me! Funny that, considering your sworn testimony just now, that we're through.
Mr. Butts, it's time you told this court the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Understand?
He would just, like, endanger someone or, like, attack, but accidentally kill. It's just like Nick said. I'm the one who moved the lantern. Oh, I thought the testimony was over. It's just like, dang, that was quick. I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and saw a lantern was broken. There was a note on the side. It said, exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. So I decided to do Ellie a favor.
So, you switched the lanterns before the reception, did you? Then that means the victim really was killed before the reception.
You know, that kind of gives new meaning, too. This image of frickin' Pierce just being like, what the hell is this cow? This isn't a cow. Why the hell is this bull here? What the f***? It would appear Mr. Butts fell off. It would appear that Mr. Butts completely fell for the defendant's scheme. Scheme? What scheme? This note from the defendant. Exchange with the one in the hold. Ellen. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body in it up to the reception hall because of this note. And thus, he has become a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder. Well, that second lantern did feel pretty heavy. But I never would have thought there was a dead body in it. Ugh. What was a note like that doing on a lantern in the first place?
You've got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left that note for myself. It was simply a reminder because I can be very forgetful.
Objection!
Objection. What a sorry excuse, Miss Wyatt. I am doing the Roblox Riz face. Die, Edgeworth. What? The prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murderous plan. And you, Mr. Butts, you played right into Ms. Wyatt's hands.
No way, Edgy! I don't believe it!
Objection!
Do you still really believe Ms. Wyatt to be the culprit, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course. My stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination. Gladly.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
So true, girly. I getcha.
You know, I feel like people did not appreciate my Roblox death sound joke, so I'm just going to take that one back. Today's segment feels so long. We just got to our first real witness testimony. Yeah! I've been appreciating it this whole time, Tidbit. You put it back.
Edgeworth, do the face. The what face? What do you want me to do? I want you to be smug. Oh, you want me to be smug?
30 minutes feels like 2 hours ago. Yeah. That's what happens with Larry. Larry is bloat incarnate. Yay! Looks like we gotta press. Right?
Bloating carnage. Is that what happens in Venom 3?
I haven't seen Venom 3 or Venom 2. I don't know.
Hold it!
Why didn't you tell us that sooner?
Because I knew you guys were gonna be suspicious of me! That's why!
We're suspicious of you now because you tried to hide it. My thoughts exactly.
Huh. Well, now I've told you. Happy? So how about letting me go?
Not yet. We need you to stick around to sort a few things out.
Fine!
Hold it!
The lantern you swapped out was a female Pegamoot. A Pegacow, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Why did you replace a female lantern with a male one?
Because I was too busy trying to not get caught. I didn't have time to check for little details like that.
If you didn't want to get caught, you could have just left it well alone, you know? Whatever! Anyway, when I took a look at the broken lantern, I saw...
I need that Angie animation with him holding prison bars. This guy's an ass, I said, realizing his name is Butts. Trans Pegamu. Yeah, who would ever say a joke like a trans Pegamu? Who would ever? That is so crazy.
Hold it!
That note wasn't addressed to you, was it? Well, I guess not, but... How can I let my dear sweet Ellie do all that hard physical labor on her own? It's precisely that thought process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry. My favorite Berserk character, Butts.
I get the joke. I don't know anything about Berserk except that the guy's name is Guts.
Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared about her. So I decided to do Ellie a favor. Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns. Nope. I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway. Not that time? Yeah, when I tried to sneak into the reception hall the first time, I didn't have as much luck. Those Sprocket guys spotted me and nabbed me.
This looks like the groom's party.
Tag me in, Larry. Tag me in.
Ew, look at him. Surrounded by men. This is the gay bachelor party. Why do you assume that? There's a lot of men. Slap me some skin, Larry, quickly.
All of my words are failing me right now. Pretty exciting, don't you think? Larry, you need help. And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like that, like this for anyway? Shouldn't you be trying to prove Ellie's innocence? Well, is that statement of importance to this case? Yeah, it's important. Mr. Butts, trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe these might be important facts in this case, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please add that statement to your testimony.
I tried to sneak into the reception hall, but I got caught and locked up in a cabin.
Hold it!
So, you got locked up. Then what happened? I broke out! Then I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it. Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Ms. Wyatt. But hold on a minute.
What is it, Nick?
Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry isn't saying he replaced the lantern after he... Larry is saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin.
That's right. Oh, wait. Huh? You're right. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in the witness's statement?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this.
I wish there was like a Sherlock mode of where you could be like, you could throw evidence into like a separate spot for a short duration. So you can be like, okay, that's useless. That's useless. This is useless. This, not useless. This is useless. This is not useless. I wheeled it from the hole of the reception before the reception began. The victim was discovered inside one of the lanterns and there's... Oh, wait a minute. No, they're right-handed. I just thought about the fact that it's just like, wait, this is smudged when you're like trying to write something quickly from being wait, no, they mentioned it's from being right-handed. Because it's when you're trying to write too quickly. And we have a picture of someone writing, so it's like, ah, those will come together. Because Japanese origin.
Sister!
What? I can't remake the picture left-handed for the West. Wait, what? Oh! Wait, was it a factor in the case? Japanese goes from right to left. Oh, and so they had to do a lot of heavy lifting to be like, yeah, that's why this is smudged. Yeah, because if it goes from right to left. Okay, that does explain a little bit. So righties smudge. Ah. Is it the broken lantern? Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with the broken lantern.
Take that!
Is that...
Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Literally nothing else lines up. None of the pictures, none of the statements. This is the only thing I can think of. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all.
What? Why not?
You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right? Yeah? That's what I said, isn't it? But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns after you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak into the reception. In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after the reception took place.
That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it?
Was there 2 weddings? Oh my gosh!
Mr. Butts, did you swap the letters before or after the reception?
Which was it? Before or after? There's a world of difference between the 2.
Well, Mr. Butts, I guess I can't expect you guys like you to understand. In a nutshell, it was both before and after the reception. What? I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. The first reception. Oh no, I don't like where this is going. Then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound, and we went back to the time before the reception. It was after that happened when I replaced the lantern. So it was both before the reception and after the reception. Get it?
2 fan edits hit the meme channel. No. Oh gosh. I love fan edits, the fan art and stuff like that, but why? Why is that joke? Why does that joke persist? Even the airports are done with TSA and stuff like that because they've forgotten. Why haven't you let go?
We went back in time to before the reception. So of course, the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why what I said makes perfect sense.
Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since the last I saw him? They drilled it in. Never forget to every child. Never forget. And yet they did. They forgot. It only took 23-ish, 24-ish years. Keep on forgetting it's 2025.
None of the Sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too.
You know, really dumb idea. What if this is just forget-me gas? What if it's special? We mixed the normalium with fatalium and everyone lost their memories. They didn't die? No, it was in an air form.
I think the power of our love for each other made that miracle happen.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand?
So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing. Go on, Nick. I know you can do it.
Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick. Shame. Sucks for you. Blink, 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 blink.
To heck with it. I can't lose any more dignity today anyway.
Larry Butts, the time-traveling pervert. It's funny you say that, Conker. I don't know if Larry is a pervert or if he's just an idiot. He's just a love-struck idiot. To my knowledge, he hasn't done anything pervy. But I also blank out a lot of what Larry has done. He's a pervert? Okay. Never mind. Continue with that statement. He goes in the same bucket as Mineta and Roshi. Unnecessary. Now, if you switch them to girls, then we'll have a court discussion. We won't accept no's.
The defendant, Ms. Ellen Wyatt, has told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claimed that she was being assaulted. She made a wish upon her pendant.
I just realized with the time thing right there, and there was a third shadowy figure when they attacked, and so that's probably when the strikes happened.
She claims that as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to that blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began.
What?
I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Spirits are real. Magic is a thing. Time travel is not that far off. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen Wyatt and Larry Butts experienced time travel.
What? What?
Objection!
What absolute rubbish! Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years. But this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind?
Objection!
But this is simply the conclusion I came to. Using that logic ability you love so much.
What?
The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So, what if a time machine has already been successfully created?
Then time as we know it would be warped. Any moment in time would be warped. Unless it creates multiple different realities. But still, the second you make a time machine, you go back and tell yourself you made the time machine, creating a paradox.
What if they were responsible about it?
No one's ever responsible with a time machine.
And what if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions?
A time machine?
Yeah! I even saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. Maybe the airship was sent to travel through time for their honeymoon trip.
What? A pterodactyl?
Objection!
Objection! You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story.
Well,
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, as I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry. Not so fast, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know. Oh. You want evidence? I've got your evidence right here. This is a photo I secretly took of the first reception. What? What?
Larry?
I can't believe. Well, anyway, good job.
Ugh. If we compare the photos of the first and second receptions, we can find a difference. Then we'll be able to prove that the reception was held twice. Give me the evidence.
But do you really think such a difference exists?
Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you.
This is preposterous!
Very well. Please show the court what's different then.
This is proof.
This is proof positive. This is proof positive that the wedding reception was held twice.
Ah, the bouquets are different. this is some fancy color changing flower.
Please direct your attention to Ms. Wyatt's bouquet of flowers. In the photo, one of her mother-in-law In the photo one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butts took, she is holding a red bouquet.
You're right.
That's impossible! What does this mean?
It means that the defendant really did experience 2 wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time.
What?
Nick, you did it. You proved Ellen's time travel story to be true.
Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said, the reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we've based this trial on upside down.
Objection!
Objection! I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There is simply no such thing as time travel.
I know it's hard, but can't you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth?
I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? I can totally picture you yelling, "That never happened," every 5 seconds at the screen. You probably do it with whatever his name is. The guy who likes kissing himself on the lips in a mirror. What's his name again? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether.
That's neither here nor there, right? Did you tell her about our last movie experience?
Maybe.
Right. This is real life we are talking about. But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs.
That's right, Mr. Edgeworth.
Objection!
No matter how you...
Objection! Fine, I'll entertain your absurd delusion. If only to demolish it before your very eyes. What? Let's start with this then, shall we? These are a special kind of flower that when photographed by an obvious camera, they turn yellow, but when they are flashed by a concealed camera, they turn red. There is one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. And that is the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice. But no member of the Sprocket family has even mentioned such a thing.
That's because the time machine is
Objection!
classified
Objection! I'm not done, you bird brain. Bird brain? I was saying that if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, then why hadn't they sworn the woman who was marrying into the family to secrecy too?
That's a pretty good point.
It's very funny seeing the dialogue box say, "Phoenix."
Bird brain!
Yes, you are, Phoenix. Don't make that face in public. Miles, save that for Nick.
Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright. Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There's proof in the photos that it did, and besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, then how do you explain them? I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was always going to go back to the days of my youth.
You mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is just not logically feasible. We all know the tale of the time-traveling Soba. That's as close as you'll get. What do you... That time travel yaoi, that's the literature.
Ah, yes, I too have read the literature.
You thought I forgot about the bit that normal judge likes reading Yuri and is a distributor? Maybe our argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick? Well, in that case, why don't we put common sense to the test? Excuse me? Counterpoint, has been deployed. The wedding reception was held twice. The photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It was simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation?
Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright?
If time travel doesn't exist, then there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomena, and that somebody is...
The gods.
Ellen is dumb, and we love her for it. God herself. I want to see what happens. Such a mysterious phenomena could only have been caused by the gods themselves.
I suppose the gods would be able to rewind time, or make the wedding reception happen twice, wouldn't they?
Indeed they would, Your Honor.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please bring these gods here to testify before this court.
Maya, do you think you could...
Not a chance.
On behalf of the gods who can't be here today, please have some divine punishment.
I want to keep reading. I knew I was reaching with that one. I guess I better come up with something more grounded next time. That was pretty funny.
Then bring the gods to this court. Bring them before my gavel.
It was everybody at the reception, right? Is it just me, or has been the, like, multiple answers been the ones at the top?
Bring the kids to the court.
What if all the guests at the reception conspired together to hold the reception twice and keep quiet about it? What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing? Well, Mr. Shia LaBeouf. I think this is Edgeworth. A brilliant deduction defense. Oh! Okay, I will say it as them. A brilliant deduction defense. I can tell that you are not a renowned lawyer for nothing. Now, what if we pause it here? This seems like a good place to take a break. Suspense. Precisely. Because we need just a little bit more time for fan art! Woo! Check memes! Memes! Okay, I need to stealthily get into memes and scroll up so I do not see. Oh, gosh. Okay, we'll have it framed there. Okay. Move Apollo out of the way and pull up Discord. Okay, so no strength for fan art today, sorry. It's okay. We all have our ups and downs sometimes. And I do not expect fan art. It's like I do not expect fan art, and so I am pleasantly super duper happy and surprised whenever fan art does happen. But memes can be good enough. All right, so. No, you can't do this to me! No! Super and duper? I feel so Sigma. Oh gosh, I love you guys. Well, enough of that. This was very great. Oh, we got with Pierce coming in being like, ah, yes, well done, detective. You have figured out we told everyone to keep their shit together. Well done. And so I'm very interested of just, I know how they're going to explain away what Larry saw, because we saw the map, but how are they going to explain away what Ellen saw? Why are they doing this? Why are they, like, having it twice? Why are they leaning into it happened twice? I am so curious on how this continues. Wah! And so, we'll see what happens and how it's all revealed next time, Monday, noon PST. But thank you all for coming. You have all been so great. I'm sorry that I can't read chat, all of it anymore, because there's so many of you. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Because it was orchestrated to make her believe it was time travel to discredit her. That is very eloquently put, doll. My guess. Yep. You already stated in the previous stream that you have no idea how this case goes. Yippee! Yippee! Tippet, we love you. Yippee! We love you too. We love you. Feel so Sigma. Wah. In other news today, the plan is, if my girlfriend is up for it, we're going to go visit GameStop to go and pre-order parts of Devastator from the new Studio Series figures. And so I'm very excited about that, because last week I got a handful of new figures to satiate me. And so we're going over to GameStop to pre-order them officially, because I want a Combiner and I want Devastator. And this Studio Series looks so good. I don't care what Prime versus Prime says of just like, oh yeah, Scrapper looks kind of not great compared to what we got. What we got before was clear plastic and gonna die. This time we have an ankle tilt, and it just seems like more affordable, because back then they had more budget. Hasbro, I don't know if anyone keeps up with this because I'm the only Transformer nut in the entire station, but Transformers, because of Hasbro dropping the ball in so many places, Transformers has not had a lot of funding. And so I am honestly amazed at the fact they're able to put out not only Devastator, but the Aerial Bots and another combiner that I just heard about. I don't remember the name of it. It was like the Combaticons, maybe? But, I want a combiner so bad. I want Menasor. That skeleton looks pretty fun to play around with. And then there's the fact you only need Menasor for that. I want a big figure. I want a Titan class. I want something. I love my Transformers. I want more. I'm thinking about making videos on them, but I don't know how I would do that. I don't have a good camera to do it from other spots, and the webcam that I have is... I'm not joking here. It's 480p. It says it's HD, but it ain't. Transformers. Trainformers? I want a good transforming train. I want Astro Train or Galaxy Shuttle. I want one of those two. They turn into trains. Trains Forters. Team Fortress. Men are sore. I mean, there is a strange habit of people making Roadmaster into Road Mistress for some reason. I don't knock it. I'm literally working on my own, like, giant fan fiction of Transformers for my own stuff. And the plan is for it to be, like, it's like normal Transformers of Optimus, Bumblebee, Megatron, so on and so forth, but they're women. And there's 5 factions. There's technically 6. And I've been slowly, with all of my Transformers figures, been taking each one and assigning them to the factions. And I was honestly surprised getting 6 of them, of just like, oh yeah, I guess I do have people to rep the faction. But now there's more. There's a few of them. Funny enough, the lowest faction count is Decepticon because it's such a niche thing. Because all the factions have different gimmicks. But we can talk about that another day. This was an Ace Attorney stream, and it is now time to head out. Bye-bye! Bogo's Binted? Maybe.